Hi everyone. We have a triangle DEF, and DM is the median. And by definition of the median, it means these two sides are congruent. We also know that DM is congruent to itself, so our included angle is measure of angle 2 and the measure of angle 1. So we're going to determine if each statement is always, sometimes, or never true. And it's based off the Hinge Theorem and the converse of the Hinge Theorem. So we'll get started. And again, I apologize, these are marked wrong. So it says, again, let's just mark this real quick. If measure of angle 2 is greater than the measure of angle 1, the included sides, then DF is going to be greater. So this is going to be larger than this side. This will be the smaller side. So ED is greater. It's saying then ED is greater than FD, and that's false. So this is never, because actually FD is actually greater than ED. So this would be, the answer would be never. For 8, it says, again, these are angles. Measure of angle E is greater than the measure of angle F, which doesn't make sense because this is the same. This is the same side. So if this is the same side, then these two have to be congruent. So then it says angle 1 has to be obtuse. So I'm just going to put never because it can never be greater anyway. All right. If angle 2 is acute, if this is acute, means it's less than 90 degrees. So it's less than 90 degrees. Then that means this angle is going to be greater than 90 degrees. So the measure of angle F is greater than the measure of angle E. And that's going to always be the case because these two angles are the same. So if this angle's less than this angle, then this angle has to be greater than this angle because the measurements have to equal 180. So this would be always. Now we have measure of angle F and E. So let's erase that. So these are all angles. So if the measure of angle F is smaller than the measure of angle E, then the measure of 1 has to be smaller than the measure of angle 2. And we just talked about that. So that's going to be never. Because just look at it. If the measure of angle 1 is less than the measure of angle 2, then F has to be bigger than the measure of angle E. Because these two angles are congruent. All right, next one. Angle 2 is greater than angle 1. So angle 2, measure of angle 2 is larger. Measure of angle 1 is smaller. So that means the DE or DF is going to be larger than DE. That's smaller. So they're looking at ED is greater than that. So for number 11, that's going to be never. All right, and finally, if the measure of angle D, so this whole angle here is 90 degrees, then FD is greater than ED. And that's also going to be never. So basically, it can't be greater if this is 45. If this is 90, then this is 45, and this is 45. These have to be the same because these two sides are congruent, and this is the midpoint. So it can't be that they're greater. These two would have to equal each other. It should be FD equals ED. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.